Pretty massive change here in the Hunter Call of the Wild, at least if you're a pheasant grinder. If you're just, walking around the map casually and hunting whatever you see, you're probably not going to notice too much difference. In fact, you may actually get a benefit from this. But if you are a hardcore grinder like myself and enjoy placing your tents directly on top of the pheasants, well, you're going to notice they fly off immediately now. Whereas before, they kind of just ran around and let you do whatever you wanted. But I think there's quite a few people out there that don't actually know what the fix was and need to know a little bit more information. Because the fix that they pushed through that made pheasant grinding a whole lot harder actually wasn't really aimed at changing grinding at all. In fact, it was aimed to fix a very specific bug that a lot of casual players were running into. And this right here is the change. It says upland birds such as pheasants and grouses should be more reactive to the threatening presence of players and dogs. They should also be better at trying to fly away when there's no nearby available cover. So this is the change that they added in. It doesn't sound like it's anything too crazy, right? It seems like it would be a pretty good thing on paper, but it has had a bit of a negative effect on the grinding community, which obviously I do not think was the intention. And we're going to show exactly what this change was really supposed to fix. Now, we're going to play a clip right now. There's been many scenarios where in this update, people have ran up to a pheasant or a grouse and literally just stood by them for an extended period of time. I mean, I've tried to have my pointer go out and flush the pheasants and it still took forever for it to fly. And so that was the problem that a lot of people were facing. So when they'd be out there hunting pheasants, the pheasants just would not behave properly and they'd just refuse to fly in many instances for 20 or even 30 seconds. But now with this change right here, we're going to take a look at how the pheasants behave when you're hunting them normally, because this is where you notice the biggest difference. As you can see right now, we are spooking these pheasants right here. And what this little pheasant is going to do is try to find cover immediately. It's gone defensive, so it should start running away shortly. Come on, little buddy. And anytime now. There we go. As you guys can see, the pheasants are going over to take cover. And this little pheasant right here has taken cover. It's decided that this grass is good enough, and now it's flying off. The problem that people were running into before was that pheasants just were not flying off when you got close to them. And it was making it so when you would be out there hunting for pheasants, obviously without tent hopping like us grinders do, when you were just hunting pheasants normally, they would not flush in scenarios where they should have flushed. And so they pushed out a fix to make the pheasants, understand the given threats a bit more quickly, so they'd get out of there when they're supposed to, while also still giving you a chance to get close enough to where you can actually hit them. So let's take a look at this pheasant behavior one more time so you guys can really get a good idea of how they behave now, because it actually is much better than it used to be if you are just hunting pheasants normally and not hardcore grinding them. As you can see, that little pheasant is now running away, and he should be looking for cover right now. Once he finds cover, he'll hunker down, and then whenever you get close, he will flush. So let's see where he decided to go off to. Looks like he's trying to get over to that bush right there. Yeah, he's going right to that little tree. And I imagine he's going to hunker down very, very soon. In fact, yep, there we go. He has hunkered down, so now whenever I get close, he should flush when I'm about 10 meters away, 5 meters away. And there he goes. So as you can see, overall, the pheasants work better than they used to if you're just a normal pheasant hunter. If you're not a grinder, they actually work a lot better now. And that's the change they made. That is the fix they put through to make pheasant hunting feel more realistic and feel more like it should. Now, unfortunately, in the crossfire was grinding. And I think a lot of people don't understand that this was not an intentional change to grinding. What we just showed you, that's what they were trying to achieve. They fixed an issue where pheasants were just not flushing. They would just not try to fly away at all for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You just stand on top of them and nothing would happen. And so that's what they tried to fix. And unfortunately, in the meantime, while they were trying to fix that, it also kind of completely destroyed the method of grinding that a lot of people were using. It used to be that you could fast travel to any tent, and the pheasants would just kind of waddle around you for 10, 15 seconds before they flew off. Now, whenever you fast travel, well, they instantly fly off, which is obviously going to make it tougher for people that are trying to grind for the Great One. Now, is it all bad? No. This is definitely not as bad as I've seen some people make it out to be. I can honestly understand that if you're on a controller, or maybe you don't get as much time to play the game, so you haven't refined your aim as much, this could be quite difficult, but it's definitely not, like, terrible. It still is very doable. It's just going to be a little bit, I guess, slower. But honestly, I think there is one thing EW could do to make everybody happy in this situation. I mean, at this point, they have already pushed out this fix that makes these changes. So all they have to do is one simple thing, and it would make it so the grinders are happy as well. I propose that they make it so that birds will only fly off immediately if you fast travel within 20 meters of them. This would make it so obviously the changes would still be in effect where pheasants react more realistically when you're out hunting just casually, but it would also make it so, you know, we can still grind the way that we used to, or at least close to it. You may not be able to put your tent directly on top of them anymore, but it would be close enough, and I think that would be a really good change. It would make it so that, you know, people that want to grind would still have a way to grind. Those that don't like grinding would be completely unaffected. They'd be able to just go about their day as they normally would. Because, like, right here, I just fast traveled, and the pheasants that are like 100 meters away decided to fly off, except for, oh, level 3. Well, that's fantastic timing. As I was saying, they all flew off when I was like 100 plus meters away and fast traveled here. Like, to me, that's a little bit extreme. I get it. It was just part of the changes. I assume that has to do with the change they made that said that they are better at reacting to a threatening presence of players and dogs. But I really don't know if it should be to this extreme with the tents, at least. I think 20 meters, like I said, would be a little bit better. If they're within 20 meters, if they're right on top of you, sure, they should spook. But if they're this far away, like 100 meters away, I feel like that might be a little bit too much. So I would propose that they take that range down a little bit for pheasants and other birds. I feel like you should be able to fast travel at least, you know, somewhat close to them without them immediately flying off. Because when you're on console, it is really, really tough to grind pheasants now because of the fact that a lot of those consoles have slower load times. And so you end up having loaded in after the pheasants already flew away, and it makes it, you know, really tough for those players to actually get any grinding in. Now, I know some of you are going to be grind haters. It's just the way it is. You're going to comment saying like, well, good, I hate grinding. But it is what it is, man. Everybody likes to play the game different. We all enjoy the same game. And if you don't grind, you know, obviously these changes don't affect you. So that is what I would recommend, man. Get some kind of middle ground where everybody's happy, and then we can just continue on with our grinding uninterrupted and just have fun. An alternative that was brought up in my chat recently that I think is actually a very good idea is the possibility of making it so the birds do still fly off when you fast travel, but maybe they take 3 to 5 seconds before they decide to fly off. I think that is a good alternative, but, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think that one definitely could work pretty good also. Let me know what you think would be a better option. You know, have them spook off within 20 meters when you fast travel, or make them take like 3 to 5 seconds to fly off. I think either would be good, and it would make it so that everybody would still be able to grind regardless of skill level. And with all of that being said, we have talked about pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today, explaining what the bug was, how they fixed it, and what unfortunately happened to the grind in the process, and what they could do to possibly bounce things back and regain the trust of some of the community that did get upsetted by this. And if you've made it this far in the video, be sure to comment down below with, it's always Scarecrow's fault. If you know, you know. It'll be up on screen. Just to confuse everybody that may not have watched the entire video. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving a comment down below, hitting that like button, and sharing this video with a friend so that they can learn about what exactly changed with that hotfix that they pushed out, and what I think they could do to kind of make it better. But let me know, guys. I'll see you in the next one. This has been fun. Peace, peace.